Hi, my name is Guillermo Goyenola. I work in the Universidad de la República in Uruguay, and I will present uh, this work about the rehabilitation of eutrophic, subtropical urban sandpit lakes here in Canelones, and more specifically in the 10 first years following an adaptive management approach. This work was made by a lot of people from several institutions and uh, had the support of local government of Canelones to be done. So, before to continue, please, sorry for my English. So, um, to start, I will present you the position of the system that we are working on. We are working in South America, in the south part of Uruguay, in the departamento of Canelones. Here, you can see here in color most of the lakes that we are working on. Some of them are small and it's difficult to see it in the picture. So, if I have to describe this area, we are talking about Paso Carrasco and Ciudad de la Costa. That's these were two of the cities that grow at higher rate in last decades here in the area and in the continent. So, about the lakes, we are working in a group of approximately 25 lakes. The larger one, that is this near the airport, international airport, sorry, has a surface of around 70 hectares. And this lake, that is the deeper one, has 13 meters depth. So all of them was created by sand extraction before the city was here, and in the last year, few lakes was created to flood management in some places of this city. As holes in the sand, this lake has not tributaries and has high residence water time and high resident time of water and high underground connectivity. So the environmental knowledge is recent, it's recently generated. First report is from 80s, associated with a fish killed in this lake that I show you a recent drone picture. So until 12 years ago, there wasn't any monitoring plan in this territory. So after this first strategic plan of water quality for all the Canelones, all the information, the environmental information data that was in some studies and monitoring was done, and 3 years after this date, first diagnosis of the environmental situation was published. The conclusion was related with that eutrophy was a generalized problem in these systems, but the displayed responses depends on the local condition of each lake. Some of lakes, a group of lakes, was dominated by phytoplankton, and the other group of lakes, in general terms, the smaller and the shallower, had was dominated or were dominated, sorry, by macrophytes. So after 10 years ago, the second step in this work was try to define what will be done or what will be done in these systems. A second product was related with this document about the technical basis for the environmental management of these systems. This is like possibilities to do things to improve the environmental condition of these lakes. So, moving forward, this scheme tried to put more detail in what kind of specific actions could be done and what sources of information we can take. So after that, this was 7 years ago, we select some of the possible actions and discard others for a group of reasons that I can't develop here now. So this was in 2014. 2 years after this, the local government of Canelones, Intendencia de Canelones, decide to go deeper in the monitoring, and after that we collaborate to improve the knowledge about the structure and functioning of these systems, monitoring these lakes two times each year, and also taking samples of sediments, making bathymetries, and also making experiments about the release of phosphate from sediments to water column. So, in 4 years ago and 2 years ago, we published 2 new information about the environmental situation of this lake. All these documents are available in the web. So, in this process, we learned a lot about the ecology of deeper lakes, because we, as Uruguayan people, we know, or we worked a lot in shallow lakes. These are our natural systems, but here we must to try to understand how lakes with 10 or 13 meters deep works. So now we are working in this lake with the conviction that for several of them, the internal load and the stratification dynamics are key factors. So you can see this lake is a monomictile lake with in summer a strong gradient of temperatures in the vertical dimension, and these lakes are also very variable about oxygen concentration, and this is related with the gradients of nutrients also in the time and in the space, and this determine when the problems derived from eutrophication are expressed. So, third point of this management cycle is about implementation of actions to try to manage the environmental problems. And in this moment, we can say that we are work in harvest design and follow harvest macrophytes, and also in a project that involves the application of a clade that can fix phosphate to the sediments, in this case phosphate. So The other lake that is we are working on is related with a project of destratification, but air hypolignetic injection. That this work has the support of the neighbors and the local government. So we are trying to evaluate the results of these actions, try to understand also the environmental changes in these systems. So we are monitoring and processing data. So after first cycle, second cycle, and we are working continuously trying to learn and to apply this knowledge. So what we are working on now and where are we going to? We have 5 lines of work. First is about automated monitoring system that we developed with data telemetry. We were working in one equipment based in Arduino. All its local development, and also we work with high school groups to develop this, and this system is able to take several of temperature measurements in several deeps in a lake. The other approximation is related with a more complex system using Microcom and Aqualabo components, and this based in the work of Segura Satellidad, who is helping us with that. And we can measure several variables as oxygen turbidity, oxygen redox, pH. So all this data is available in the web and for the public as the measurement of the moment. So the second work line is related with a high frequency monitoring in the lakes that actions were implemented, and also with control systems to try to understand if the changes are related with the actions or not. And the third is related with try to model these systems to understand how is the level of interaction between atmosphere, climate, and water quality. 4. We are making research, basic research, and trying to apply this knowledge to looking for more options for management. We are working with PAC. This is aluminum compound. We are working with release of phosphorus, from sediments, and we are trying to understand the trophic webs and the role of fishes. 5. We were working in citizen science water quality monitoring, but with the pandemic, this project is stopped from 1 year ago, and we are trying to starting again to work in it. So after all of this, trying to conclude, to adaptive management of this kind of systems, Spanish, English, to work on this, we know now that limnological knowledge is critical, but not enough. Also, I have to move. It is a long-term process that is built on the foundation of interinstitutional perseverance and complementation between politicians, managers, and academics. Next, the key to success is to generate the appropriate organizational design, ensure sustained financing, and develop a group of very specific capacities. And try to take advantage of crises and conflicts to management. And last one of the keys to success, is to convince that despite the demands of the community of simple, fast, definitive, and cheap recipes, did not exist a single investment that allowed to definitively solve the problem. Therefore, the effort must be sustained. So, we have to keep working. I want to thanks to all the people that make this work possible, and thanks to you to see and hear this. And please again, sorry for my English. Best wishes.